Homebuyers in Langley have had the upper hand this spring, but is that still true in Langley's July market? My name's Emilio Lombana, and if this is your first time on my channel, I'm a local real estate agent who specializes in helping people buy, sell, and relocate right here in Langley, BC. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down key statistics to find out who exactly holds the leverage when buying or selling a home here, while providing actionable strategies so that you can go out and shop like a pro. And if you're just starting your home search and looking to work with a professional who specializes specifically in the Langley area, my Calendly is in the description down below, so go ahead and book a 15-minute call with me and we'll figure out the best way to get you into the Langley market. Now, let's see who's really holding the leverage this July in Langley, BC. So Langley is currently a balanced market. Whether you're in control depends on what you're buying or selling. We've absolutely had markets that fully belong to sellers in the same way we've had markets that fully belong to buyers. However, currently in July 2025, the leverage is split, and whether or not you have the market advantage is going to depend on the property type in question. As we look at the data, you'll see that you can currently get into a detached home here for about 1.4 million. Although on average, they're losing about 5.3% of their value year over year, which unfortunately makes them not a great financial investment at the moment. Of course, when you get into real estate, you are playing the long game, although you might need to carefully consider upgrading to an asset that's already on a losing trend. One of the main things that keep buyers in control here is the fact that we currently have more detached homes for sale than any other property type. So if the seller is trying to price their home too aggressively, it's really easy for buyers to simply move on to the next one. These homes that do sell are closing within about 3 to 4 weeks of being listed, and the level of buyer demand we see for these homes are actually the lowest of any property type in Langley right now. This sales to actives ratio essentially tells us that last month, 17 detached homes sold for every 100 that were on the market. So in summary, if you're buying a detached home in Langley, now is a great time to capitalize on the market leverage, since you're much more likely to get what you're looking for. As a seller, you're gonna have to lead with value-oriented pricing, because buyers in this market simply won't overpay, and if you're coming in too hot, you probably won't see many buyers coming through your open house anyways. Townhomes in general have consistently been Langley's hottest property type, and it's no different here in July. You can get into a Langley townhome for about $810,000, and they're even a pretty good investment right now, growing at about 3.8% month over month. Opposite to what we saw with detached properties, we actually have the lowest amount of supply when it comes to townhomes, which is a really good thing for sellers. These homes sell in about 21 days on average, which shows us that we're not currently in the type of market where homes are selling within a week. And being the fastest selling commodity in Langley, that 27.5% sales to actives ratio tells us that over 27 townhomes sold for every 100 that were for sale, which is absolutely a level of marketing activity that sellers love to see. So if you're a buyer getting into a Langley townhome right now, you're gonna need to come in prepared, pre-approved, and ready to make a decision, because the best townhomes are moving quick. Sellers, on the other hand, are in the strongest position of the Langley market right now. You do have to remember that buyers are still in a cautious time, so it's wise to lead with value-oriented pricing to get eyes on the property, but don't be afraid to hold strong on what's important to you during the sale. And finally, condos represent the middle ground of the Langley market. You can get into a condo here for about $542,500 on an investment that's making slight gains right now at 0.9% per month. 5 months of inventory isn't crazy low, but it's definitely not an overabundance either, so there isn't really clear leverage gained from this aspect. While every property type here is selling at around the same rate, condos are averaging the longest time on the market right now at 25 days. And staying true to being that middle property, the sales to actives ratio shows that condos are in higher demand than detached homes, but not as hot as townhomes right now. If you're buying a condo in the near future, you'll want to keep a close eye on those strata fees, because oftentimes units that seem well priced become much more costly in other ways. As a condo seller, you'll need to be prepared to sit on the market for a month or more. So make sure you're marketing the property well and highlighting everything that buyers might find valuable about the entire building, not just your unit. The shared amenities are often points of excitement for buyers. So to summarize who holds the leverage right now in Langley for each property type, detached homes are part of a buyer advantage market thanks to the high amount of inventory and slightly slower demand for the asset. Townhomes are part of a seller advantage market thanks to having the exact opposite, low amounts of inventory and high demand bringing in quick, consistent sales. Condos, while being the most balanced option, still hold a slight seller advantage because of their overall affordability and demand that stayed consistent throughout the spring. Finally, let's reiterate the strategic tips based on the current data so you know the actionable steps to be taking as you proceed into our Langley housing market. If you're a buyer purchasing a detached home, don't be afraid to negotiate for what you want. Now is your opportunity to gain extra value during your home upgrade, so don't miss the opportunity. Remember, trends are showing that demand is coming back for these homes, so the sooner you can act, the better. Detached sellers will need to price strategically to get buyers into the open houses and ensure that the best possible version of the home is being shown to maximize the overall interest. Townhome buyers will need to be decisive because the options are limited and the best townhomes are being swept up quickly. If you walk away from an opportunity, you can't really expect it to still be there when you come back. Sellers will need to remember that despite their strong market position, buyers are as financially cautious as ever. Do what you can to show the home's value and hold strong on the things that mean the most to you during this home sale. Condo buyers have a decent amount of options right now, but the best ones are moving quickly. If the opportunity seems too good to be true, don't forget to inquire about everything, especially those strata fees. Sellers will need to be ready to hold on to their listing for a month or even longer, so finding the best ways to market your property and get buyers through the door will be essential. Make sure to talk about those shared amenities because buyers love them. So that pretty well covers our question of who currently holds the leverage in Langley's July housing market. Now that we're clear on that, if you're someone who's thinking of making your home purchase soon, I've just finished my latest guide all about buying your first home here in BC, and I'm giving it away completely free. This guide is going to go over everything you need, from the preparation stage to tips for closing the deal, and I've even included my list of local professionals who I personally recommend to help you make the most of your transaction. The link is in the description, so if you'd like a copy, go ahead and check it out. I hope you find it valuable. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more locally curated content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm Emilio Lombana, your guide and realtor in Langley, BC.